All right, we're live. Episode 26 of New York City Bike Culture with myself, but most importantly, Amran Nahshal, who is born and raised in Yemen, has
Yes.
been in the US for, you said, something like 10 years now?
Yes. 11 to be exact.
11, sorry.
Yes.
We'll get to that. An East Village local, lives here, works here. Family business, he said, the East Village New Deli, which is on 7th and Avenue A,
Correct.
right around the corner, really. He said he just woke up
Yeah.
because he's working the late shift. And we're having a late lunch here, so you know what that life is like. Well, he knows what that life is like.
Yeah, I know.
We'll talk a little bit about how that affects his cycling, especially now that it's like 90 degrees out when you wake up. But we'll talk a lot about bike riding. I met him, he introduced himself actually in Prospect Park, which you say you're a resident of.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, when you are there like 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, you kind of feel like a resident over there. So that's how most of the cyclists that I ride with, they know me from there. So. Where I spend most of my time,
Yeah.
is I spend most of my time in Prospect. It's a nice place. That's where I learned how to ride fast. Can say.
Yeah.
I learned how to ride in a group over there.
Okay.
I fell in love with cycling. Really fell in love with cycling in that park.
Yeah.
And also I found out that I am a better climber than I thought that I can be
In the
at
park.
any time. Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
why Prospect Park? You're in the East Village, Central. Well, actually, Central Park's probably not closer necessarily, huh? You're on Manhattan side. You're on Manhattan, obviously, on Manhattan, but it's probably about the same distance to go to Prospect Park time-wise.
correct. What happened was that when I picked up cycling in general, I started riding when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Back home in Yemen, just riding with the friends and riding around, nothing major, everything is just like single speed or a hybrid bike, and I come from a hilly city.
Yeah. Okay.
My city is like
Yemen in general is pretty hilly, right?
it depends on where you're
Okay.
at exactly,
Okay,
because
yeah.
there is some cities which is just like straight flat,
Yeah.
and there is cities where it's like hills, and there is these cities like top of the mountains.
Right,
So
right.
so that's the thing about the country in general.
Yeah.
It is like, how can I say it? It's a gym for cyclists that people don't know about,
Yeah.
because of the terrains over there.
Yeah.
So let's say you wanted to have a training camp.
Right.
People go to Europe, you go to Colombia, and
Yeah.
I know that. People need to learn that how Yemen is,
Okay.
for cyclists.
Yeah.
I mean, my city, for example, is just that climb.
What's the name? So just say that. So that
I'm
we hear it
from
at
the
least once.
city of Taiz
Okay.
in Yemen. It's a nice valley side,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a lot of it's like a low rolling hills in it,
Yeah.
and we have this nice mountain.
Yeah.
It's considered the third largest, the highest mountain in Yemen.
Yeah.
So you can really have this nice calendar
Yeah.
that grows in the
Yeah.
city. I mean, but at the same time, there is not a lot of support.
Right.
So, and growing up in Yemen, 18 years lived there, I never seen anybody take cycling seriously.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's on the people themselves. But there is some who like to ride, for individual, have fun, ride
Yeah.
around, and so that's the thing about it. The place is there for the taking,
Yeah.
but
Am I in the shot?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. No worries. No worries. Thank you.
like I said, the place is there for the taking,
Yeah.
and it's just it's for someone to start
Go in there.
go in there and take advantage of it, because I mean I could say if we have a 1-day race in my city, that would be an epic race, because it's just
race course. Yeah.
it's just a hill after a hill,
Second time in 26 episodes that we dropped the camera. It's a little slopey on the sidewalk. It's dangerous. So, but back to the ties.
Yes.
And so, in Yemen, right? So
yes.
You sound like you're getting paid by the government for advertising the country.
I mean,
but you're
I'm
just
not,
a proud.
Yeah, of course,
national,
of
right?
course, of course.
You have both citizenship. You have one.
Yes, I have both citizenship.
Great. All right. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We'll talk a little bit more about Yemen though, because most Westerners, right? Let's just oversimplify a little bit, but most Westerners, Americans, whatever you want to call it, I'm German, whatever. They know maybe that it's on the Arabian Peninsula. They know maybe that it's a country, right?
Yes.
And they know maybe most of the time they will hear about it because there's a civil war going on or some sort of internal war, right?
Correct.
So that's just like the average American perception of Yemen, probably,
yes.
right? And you already alluded a little bit to the fact that this is not a country where cycling and road cycling is a sport that is taken as like I could become a pro or something like that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a crime.
Say again?
It's a crime.
It's not a crime, but it's not a major sport that goes there.
No, I'm saying it's
Mostly,
not a crime that it's not a.
Oh yeah. It is yes, that's correct. It's a crime because it's there for the taking, my man. It's a beautiful place, and I mean, it's hard to do this kind of stuff when like the people in charge. They're not qualified to and also when they are qualified, they don't have this kind of mentality that this is like an investment that you do and it will pay off in the future,
right?
And and also it's also the people themselves. Like you gotta make the people like take the sport.
Yeah.
Now relax.
Thank you.
Pierogi.
Yeah, over here. Thank you.
Pancakes.
Beautiful, thank you. All right, we're eating.
Yes.
But it's a food. Oh, actually, we need silverware.
Yeah.
I'll ask them.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So let's maybe focus on one thing. So it's not historically really seen as a sport there, right? I'm assuming, and I'm looking at, and I probably have more knowledge about places like Saudi Arabia because they're bigger and they get more attention in the world, but or the UAE, which have now in recent years, or Oman have hosted actually pro cycling races. While, as far as I know, no natives of those regions have competed in them, at least at the pro level, right? I don't think there's currently a Saudi or UAE or there's probably at least no world tour cyclists, I think, right?
There is two Arabic pro cyclists.
Yes.
Nasser Bohani.
Yeah.
I mean, he's suspended right now.
Certain fame.
Yeah, I mean, he gave us a bad name though, but he's still a beast. I mean, he is a beast.
He's a world class cyclist.
And then there is this guy with Bahrain Victorious.
Okay.
I think the name is Bahrain Victorious now.
Yeah,
They change up the name most of the time. And he's but at the same time also there is this local this is like the national champ races they have in Saudi Arabia, in Oman, in UAE, in Qatar, Kuwait. They do have in those countries they have interest in the sport,
right?
Not on a bigger scale but it will be in the future.
But it's growing.
Yes.
What we're saying. So we're seeing pro racing, and with that you said like you didn't have. When you were riding around, I'm assuming it was, like you said, for fun with friends, like you were kids, teenagers.
Yes.
Was it for transportation even, or was it really mostly just for fun?
Yeah, I mean, mostly like transportation, I would say no. But for fun, yes. Like we would race, with each other.
Right.
We would ride in a group going from an area to an area. It's like here. It's literally like here, but it's not like, it's like a tour, like, it's like an urban style. Urban style, riding. Nothing, like road racing.
No, right. Can we get silverware? Yeah, thank you.
So that's on that, on that side.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, I saw how can I say? I think I saw a race in the capital.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think a couple of years ago. Thank you. Like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure. I mean, even if it had it, I was thinking it's like maybe a flat race, maybe like 20 miles.
Yeah.
The capital is also very nice. If you have, it's like the final day in the Tour de France.
Yeah.
You know, when you have just like a nice show for the fans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Where you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you just ride
Downtown
nice easy
circuit.
flat.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
a
yeah,
nice circuit. That would be like what happened in the capital. But in reality, that the sport in general, it needs more attention in my country.
Yeah.
That's for certain. You
Great.
know? And I hope they do. I hope they do, because it's a nice, you know, like a way to just, you know, shift the focus of the young generation to like something more productive.
Okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
like and I'm for sure, you know, like I'm certain that, you know, there is talent,
Yeah.
but you gotta be taken care of. And
Right.
if you don't, you're just gonna be
Well,
wasted.
if you don't
and,
have the races, the clubs, and like
Yep.
all that, of course.
yeah.
Now, did you start really? You have a road bike now. It's sitting
Yes,
right now.
it's my
The
beautiful
KHS.
my beautiful steed. As you know, this is a nice entry level bike,
Yeah.
aluminum frame.
You take good care of that drivetrain. It's
Yes,
very
I
clean.
just, you know, I
You're
got
a good
it.
man.
I got
You're better
you. I
than I
got
am.
you.
You're better than I
I
am.
mean, with all the riding that I do,
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
put good miles on it.
I
yeah.
put a lot. I mean, not about, you know, mileage. I do a lot of time on my bike.
Yeah.
You could say, think, if I'm not mistaken, I do on the average like you know, like 2.5 a day, 2 hours, 2.5 hours a
Yeah.
day. That's
That's a
like
lot.
on 6 days,
Yeah.
and then on weekends I do like a longer ride,
Mhm.
5-6 hour ride. So I do like almost 20 hours a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I gotta keep it nice and clean.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, the thing is, Max, that this is my hobby.
Yeah.
That this is like my, and also it's my social interaction with people.
Yeah.
So
But you meet a lot of people through it. Right?
of course, like
We'll talk about that. Let
Of
me
course.
let me ask you a follow-up
Go
question. So you're eats pancake.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
a kid in Yemen or teenager, right? You said you came over here 2 weeks before your 18th birthday.
Correct.
And then I'm sure that was quite the experience of the trip, but you were riding around with friends there, and maybe like racing, racing each other for fun up the next hill or whatever, right? But or up the next corner, and like it's just a game, right?
Correct.
It's a hobby, like you said. It's still a hobby. I
Yes.
mean, it's a hobby for me too, right? But you started taking it more seriously, and now you have a road bike. I'm assuming, like you said, you had like a single speed or like a flat bar
Yeah,
bike,
yeah,
which is like, you know, what the kids have, obviously. What I had too when I was younger. So, where and when happened that transition where you got interested? Because I know you from social media, you post about like it as a sport too, about pro cycling. So you developed an interest in it that, again, like I would say the average Yemeni doesn't probably get, or the average Arab kid even probably doesn't get, because there are no role models, right? And the
Yes.
sport is still very much as a sport, or as a sport where you can compete, right? That's still growing, or really just starting, kind of.
Correct. That's correct.
So where did you start?
Oh, okay.
Or how did it start? For
It
you?
is. It is a fun. It's a fun story, to be honest, because, when I moved into the East Village in 2014, 7 years ago. Yeah, we 21. Yeah, 7 years ago. So before that, I was on the West Village. On the west side, on Midtown. So I started working as a messenger.
Okay.
That's when when I came into the States and I started working in the family business on the west side, I started, doing deliveries. And, I picked up a bike, riding around.
So like a restaurant, or
Yeah, like you said, like a deli.
Yeah.
Delivering, product to the customers, food,
Yeah.
all that. So at that time, I wasn't, because growing up, yes, I did riding as, as a fun experience with friends. But my main sport is soccer. I'm a big soccer guy.
I would have expected. No,
I was a prodigy in soccer also. I did amateur level.
Mm-hmm.
And I took soccer very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same way that I am cycling now. I took soccer.
Yeah.
And I played with local pros. I played on every level available. Anytime there is a soccer tournament, you see me there. But then when I came to the States, I didn't see this big like fans of soccer.
Yeah.
So
You
I
have to
tried.
look for them,
yeah,
yeah.
I had to look for, and then I had to look for something else.
Yeah.
I
Very similar to my experience.
and
Yeah.
you know, cycling was good, but I was interested also in the NFL. Big NFL guy, fascination, you know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be a Patriots fan. And just, you know, I get all the all the locals, but it is what it is. So I shifted my thinking to football.
Yeah.
But then after in 2014, I moved into this area and I did the same thing again. And I was working as a messenger.
Right.
And then that was my full-time job.
Right.
And good business, good job,
Yeah.
good money, and everything was good. So I got all my love for cycling again.
Okay.
And then here's the thing. This is where I got really loving sport. I saw crit racers
Okay.
around in the city, you know, and they wake up early,
Yeah.
wake up, 'cause at that time I was working in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm not always, like a night owl. So I did, work at morning for like a couple of years, and I saw crit racing go through races, and
Yeah.
I see, this local group rides.
These are people
they
going
go,
Prospect
yeah,
Park or Central Park, or-
going through around,
Yeah.
the area.
You saw them as
And-
a guy with a number pinned
Yeah,
on riding on the
I'm
street.
like,
Yeah.
Oh
What's happening?
wow! So
Yeah.
and then I talk with some. I
Yeah.
talk with some of them.
Yeah.
They stop or like, I talk to them about the bikes and everything.
Yeah.
I still have love for the bike for
Yeah.
cycling
Yeah.
because I get love for cycling when I was to watch as a young kid.
Yeah.
Like sport. Like sport news.
Okay.
And I see these guys. Just going so fast on these mountains. And I was
So they were showing that on TV in Yemen.
yeah, of course,
okay.
of course.
Yeah.
I was
sport, Yeah.
fascinated by it.
Mhm.
Like I was like, and I look out from the window of my house and I see this big mountain, in my city, and I'm like, I want to ride this one day. I want to be able to do that one day. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that there, but like I could do that here.
Okay.
So, and I met up with this. He's a great friend. His name is Sean.
Uh-huh.
He's a very nice mechanic.
Yeah.
I think one of the best mechanics I've seen in my life. And he works at this local bike shop on 6th Street between A and 1st.
Okay.
Over here,
Yeah,
it's
right
called
here.
Busy
Yeah.
Bee.
Mhm.
And he was like, Sammy, like, come on, you ride a lot and you like the sport, so why didn't you take it to the next step? But I always was like, I'm not gonna be like wearing, like tights and I have a shoe and but like he was like, do it. I got lucky with one of my coworkers that he got a bike, but he got it for fixed.
Mhm.
But he, unfortunately some stuff happened. He couldn't come back, and so the bike stayed in that bike shop. I picked it up instead of him. I paid everything. And
Yeah.
that's when I really took cycling seriously.
Okay.
It was a Trek 2010 model. I think it's
Yeah.
like I think it's
Yeah.
aluminum,
I'll
or
take note.
maybe carbon if I'm not mistaken.
Diet Coke, yeah.
But I started riding, and that's when I really got into cycling. I love the sport, and then I was, like as you could see it in the park. You see this like an entry level guy who gets like this sport specialized,
Yeah.
and he's riding. It's like a regular short, like a tank top, and
Yeah.
he has this kind of sports shoe, and he's just going. But I was in either in Prospect or in Central. I did most of my riding in
Yeah.
on the Chelsea bike path.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a big.
So on the west side.
Yes, I have like that bike path. Despite it's not being that great, but it has a special place in my heart because that's when I learned how to ride. That's when I love sports.
Uh-huh.
And then he
Eat some
gave me
pancake.
Yeah, of course.
Eat some pancake. I don't want to keep you hungry. He's so for those again, I think most New Yorkers know. For most now more serious, really, if you want to go fast, it's probably not the place to go. But if you're starting and you're really just maybe going for fitness and you're introduced
Yep.
to it, it's a good place to go because It's fairly uninterrupted riding, right? Flat, exactly.
There is this nice
you get some
hill.
stops, which maybe not a bad thing
Yeah,
either,
yeah,
you know?
and also it has that 2 hills
At the very end.
and at the very
Yeah,
end
yeah.
under
In
the
north.
bridge.
Mhm.
They are very challenging though. Despite them, it's
No.
short but very,
Very steep,
challenging.
very steep.
I mean,
If you don't know they're coming and you forget to shift,
Oh my
you have to
God.
get off the bike. Yeah.
first time it was
yeah.
just like a moment where you're like, why did I pick up the sport, man? I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it was, but it's good that it exists, right? And it's a good way to get fairly easily and safely from north to south or south to north on the west side at least.
Yep.
So I can totally see why that's the place to start.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen that Trek in a couple of pictures. So that's like a Trek road bike, right? And
Yep.
you're starting on that.
Yep.
Aluminum probably. I think. Well, you could bike some
Yeah,
aluminum.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
And that really got you into it on kind of initiative of your friend at the bike shop.
yes, correct.
So, and you seem a social guy, and you're also enthusiastic about sports. It looks like so, and you really got into it that way then.
Yeah, I mean, and then what happened was, while I was riding on the west side on the highway,
Okay.
I get dusted by this casino kid.
Okay.
In like, it was 2014. Like, I just remember like trying so hard. I mean, at that time I didn't have no jersey, no
Right.
tie, nothing.
The
I was
t-shirt
just,
and-
like
yeah.
t-shirt, like a shorts and like regular running shoes.
Yeah.
And
A lot of people said that.
yeah, and I mean, this kid just flew past me. I was like, at that time, what happened was, it was a very humbling experience though, because at that time, since my background in soccer, I got nice legs, so I can ride fast. I was better than the average person.
Yeah, you were
but-
running in soccer
yeah,
too, so you have some conditioning.
yeah, but like I was still like far away from being like dedicated road
Right.
cyclist. But that was the changing point in my like me loving cycling,
Yeah.
because I'm like, wow, I can be that fast, and I can but I have to take the next step.
Okay.
And that's what I do recommend people.
Okay.
I recommend people who like, yes, you start riding, it's hard. You going up ahead, it's hard. You try to go fast, it's hard. I know that. But this is what they say about cycling. It never gets easy.
Yeah.
It just gets faster.
Yep.
That's the thing. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta take that next step. And that's what happened. I went online, got me a ties, got me I got the shoes, I got a jersey. I mean, everything was kind of like cheap, Amazon knockoffs, what I mean.
Yeah.
And and then that's when I learned that my trick, the bike I had, it was whatchamacallit, it was not a proper size. That's when also then I learned something else. There's different sizes, different like fits on your bike, positioning, and that was still at that time I was still not about the sport.
To learn, yeah.
Yeah, but I learned. And then he gave me this on a nice deal. He recommended this. He was like, I have this nice
Was your
bike.
French on again?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he set it up for me. I appreciate that guy.
What's
He
the
was,
bike shop again? Sorry.
Busy Bee bike
Busy
shop.
Bee. I will make sure I promote it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a local spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bicycle habitat or like Sims or Strictly.
There's a lot of these local places in New York City, right?
Gyms,
They do a lot of that work with the local commuters.
Yep.
They keep a lot of bikes running.
Yeah,
They don't work on the $10,000 specialized bikes.
Yes.
But they do what's needed for so many people. So
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what it is. Cycling is like this kind of it's a social sport, and it's not only like one person. So
no, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of different types of cyclists in the city. So 2014 road bike, more and more. Now we're just talking. He said he's in the winter. He trains in the basement of the deli between the water and the machines.
Yeah. I mean, it is
down there. And so you got pretty serious about it because New York City problem too, right? If you have an old school trainer, like if you don't have one of the new wild kickers that are silent, except they're not silent. They're not silent. They make noise. But even though those are barely tolerable if you're in a New York City apartment. But if you have an old school trainer, it's like somebody's running a generator in your basement, or like it's loud. It's very loud. But that setup is probably perfect for you. But anyway, so you go to great length now to. You're really trying to make it happen. You're riding a lot. So where did I want to go with that? I had a point to make here. So you really, that development, where do you see yourself now? What are your, like, have you reached the next step that you were talking about? Why do you ride a bike right now?
Oh yeah.
Why do you ride a bike? What do you love about it? What do you like about it?
I could say, I mean, I don't know if, I don't know, like, next step me, like, I'm good at riding because I can hold my, I can hold my wheel. I mean, if that makes sense. I mean, I can ride with like fast groups. I could do, I mean, that step, I'm already there.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. The thing is, Max was like, how can I say it? How can I say it to not sound like weird, but I switch up from being just like this average person that rides, like just like do normal riding, to like someone who really took the sport really seriously.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, at that time I did it because I was feeling unfit, and I wanted, to go back in shape.
Yeah.
And to go back in shape, you have to take it very seriously. You have to take your diet very seriously.
Yeah.
You have to take, like training very seriously.
Yeah.
And you have, I mean, you gotta fuel. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But so I did that for half a year, but most of the time I did that all solo.
Yeah.
At that time I was still like, it was 2015. I was doing all my riding solo. I didn't know nothing about this kind of like Strava or ride GPS and all those apps. I didn't know nothing about. But what I knew is, the more I ride, the better I would get, the faster I would be, and we'll see what is that gonna take.
Yeah.
And on and off. But I kept riding indoor just to stay in shape and just keep keep the legs and they're like doing the efforts. And be able to ride and just have fun. Even indoor. I love riding indoor. All I have to do is just hook my bike to my trainer and get my phone, just open up it, and this is like
you watch movies?
Yeah, I mean watch it, but I'm gonna do a sponsorship to my best. I mean, it's a life-changing YouTube channel, GCN.
Okay.
Of course you know it.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows, like every cyclist know GCN. And then they have also a special place.
Yeah, the Global Cycling Network. They started probably around the same time that you started cycling.
Correct.
But they've grown into like different languages now and like different sub channels and Global Cycling. It's a big channel now.
Yeah, then I mean, because I was like in this kind of this like area where it's like, okay, I'm not a novice, I'm above, but I'm not also advanced.
Yeah.
So I needed like a way to do training, and at that time, you Google how to, but you don't get any real like input.
Yeah.
So, but like luckily I found their channel on YouTube, and I found that their workout videos, and that's what I learned. How the difference, the power, how to ride.
A lot of great stuff from beginners.
Yeah, I mean it was so informative.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate all the work they do. Great channel. You need to watch it, by the way, and also subscribe to GCN Plus. because they do some great videos, like some great movies,
I have
documentaries.
GCN Plus to watch pro racing.
Pro
now.
racing,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So that's when I took the next step. I was
Yeah.
good, but I was just like this solo guy,
Yeah.
right? Solo. But then,
Thank you.
Anything else for today?
thank you. I'm good.
No,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
At that time, I think it was in 20. Now I jump into like 2016 or 2017. I'm scrolling through Facebook. At that time, I don't know what happened, but I just like I stopped riding outdoor, but I kept riding indoor
Yeah.
because work, family, and all that. So
Yeah.
and the area that I hit there is cyclists, but they're not a big group how can I say it? They're not known.
Yeah.
So I mean, if a cyclist, a club, like let's say a major a club member walks past me, I wouldn't even know. He would probably come to my shop 1,000 times. I wouldn't even recognize. I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know why.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just cyclists, they gotta like promote themselves.
Yeah.
You have to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Like you have it's like also recruiting others, especially
Yeah.
like if you.
It's an area we can all do better in, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everybody can. I mean that's what I do now. I mean, when they see this, I got a tan now, and
Hey, you got a pretty tan line.
how you got that tan? I'm like, I show them like my rides, I take photos, I'm
Yeah.
like, I tell them what I do, and like, oh really? Yeah, that's nice, and I most of the time, because I have all my cycling gear, I keep them in the shop. So I come out, when I start my ride, I start from the shop, and I end my ride, I always end up in the shop.
Yeah.
And so the locals, they see me. Oh, you ride bikes? I'm like, yeah, of course. And you want to ride? Come with me. I tell them, the time I'll be riding, and then, it's just to spread the word. And coming back to where I took, what I really took cycling very, 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 very serious.
Yeah.
That's when I really took it very, very seriously. That. I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see this Strava challenge.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't know nothing about Strava.
So
I got a friend though.
You found it on Facebook. You weren't on Strava.
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't know. I had this friend that he was like, "Yo, since you ride, jump into Strava." I'm like, bro. I'm not a social guy. I don't like social media. It's not my thing. I mean, but these days you have to.
A little bit at least.
Yeah, but then I see this, I think it's like a yearly thing now where Trek, they do this Century Challenge.
Yeah, there's so many of them that I'm
Yeah,
not sure,
I think
but
they do it in June or August. And, they give you like a set amount of like goals. You ride 100 miles, you get a shirt.
Yeah.
I think that year was like a shirt.
Oh, wow, okay.
But then they were like, you ride 500 miles in a month span. And you enter, to win a bike. I was like, oh, let me try my luck. So, but before that, I never rode like more than like 200 miles a month, because I was just doing it on weekends, riding around the city, go to the beach, go City Island. I love City Island; it's a beautiful place. Go to Inwood Hill. Inwood Hill is my favorite spot.
Inwood Hill.
Just go around the city. Know this because I didn't know like these places in New York until I started riding. So
why do you like City Island? Why do you like Inwood Hill?
I mean, I love City Island for food.
I like the fried seafood?
Oh man, I love seafood.
Yeah,
I love seafood.
Okay.
And then I love also the scenery that in that City Island and then on
place.
the way through.
Yeah.
And I love Inwood Hill also because the end spot in Inwood Hill Park is like you see the horizon.
Yeah.
Beautiful, like clear up your mind and everything. And that's okay. I signed up to Strava. I made an account. I joined in, and I just went in from like just being a weekend guy to like 500 miles of like a month. I was like, whoo, that was fun.
Okay.
And then riding early morning. At that time, I was able to ride early morning.
Right.
Ride early morning, get some fresh air from the river, watch the sunrise.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, cycling is epic.
Yeah.
You can ride and go to these places and watch the sunrise. And I know it's just like, sunrise, sunset, what is that? But when you're already like after doing like hour and a half with just full gas effort, whether you're doing 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 20, 30, whatever. And you just, you get this air, you get this endorphin, and you're just happy, and then
you're happy,
you reach the end, you reach the end goal, and then, wow, you see that sunrise going up, you take a photo, it's so nice, bro.
Maybe you're on the bridge or
whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
It is so good. And then I was like, and then I scroll through Stride, I went in through the feature, and I see challenges to keep you motivated. I see pros, I see local, and I see like clubs. I'm like, you know what? This is the spot.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the ad that I need to join in. Even like despite me not being like a social media guy. But here we go. Signed up to challenges, stayed active, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's for my solo.
Right.
Like being a solo guy.
Yeah.
Because something happened in 2018 that changed up my preference of riding from being a solo guy to like a group guy.
Yeah.
And so if you wanna.
Tell us.
Yeah, of course. That's when I switched up my my spot of riding from the west side into Prospect Hill, Prospect Park, and what's it called? I went there once, and it was on a weekend, and I was like, oh, there is this Strava challenge, do 60-mile ride. I never done 60 miles of my life on a bike.
Okay.
So
at that point, you had done like 30, 20 most of the time, but a lot of rides.
Yes.
Just
I was
going to ask you, so the furthest you've ridden, no further than like City Island, probably.
No,
You
never.
had gone across the bridge or George Washington Bridge?
I did.
Yeah.
I went to Tolman.
Yeah, okay.
I did to Tolman once, and that's when.
So that's like almost Piermont, right?
Yes,
so,
and
just on the west side of the Hudson.
Yeah, on that time I had this like big worry about descending.
Yeah, it's scary.
Lord have mercy. Oh my God. I was just like, I would ride up a hill, nice, easy, no problem. But then I'll just go downhill like way slow, and I was like, I tried.
Part 2 interrupted by 90 degrees, killing the camera battery a little bit early, but we're going to talk a little bit more, or we're going to pick back up at going first time kind of W out to Tolman State Park, which is like right by Piermont, and there's a really nasty downhill after that actually that even experienced riders sometimes forget that it's a little tricky, and you don't really know what's coming. If you don't know what's coming, there's like a sharp right turn that gets real steep after. But anyway, and then we'll also talk about how you then got into group riding. So catch us up with that.
Yeah, so what happened was, like I said, I had this fear from going downhill.
Right.
But then you know what? I'm faced with it. I have to deal with it. Yeah. And I'm like, I developed this kind of mentality where let loose.
Okay.
You gotta let loose. And I was just, you know what? Let it go. Yeah. The road was empty. That also helped me a lot.
That helps.
Yeah, the road was I don't know why 9W was empty that day, but I'm like, thank God. I can't complain. And just like ripping through the corners, going downhill, I'm like, man, it's so much fun. Speed is so much fun. It's hella addictive. And that's when I'm like, it's like skills. Cycling is like it's a group. It's like a bunch of skills you acquire, little by little. Some they acquire fast, some they acquire slow. So that was the second skill that helped me a lot in my riding. Going downhill fast. That's very important.
Fast.
Yes, yeah. And then not being nervous.
Yeah.
That took out the nervous aspect of riding, because I used to be always nervous. Like if I'm gonna go fast, something no. But then it helped me like just relax yourself, let loose, relax. So that's the second, that's like the second step I took into just being like a road cycler, a road biker.
Yeah.
And then going back to the Strava thing, that I saw this like the Grand Fondo challenge. Do 60 miles in one ride. I'm like, you know what? I gotta try this.
Yeah.
At that time, I was able to like, go fast. Not really go fast, but ride steady pace, like entry level.
Yeah.
Let's say like like someone who wanna be a racer, and they just started and they wanna join a club. They start like 15, 60 miles an hour speed.
Yeah.
If you
That's
can
good.
maintain that, it's kind of nice step from like the everyday like urban cyclist.
Yeah.
So I was at that
Well,
level.
on your own too.
Yeah, on
yeah.
solo. So I was
Right.
like on that like on that kind of level. So I did. I went there on a Sunday. Got ready, got some food, got some water, enough water and everything. And I was right, I decided to do it at Prospect Park.
Okay.
Because Prospect Park, it reminds me of my neighborhood.
Okay.
My neighborhood is a small, like, that's how my neighborhood, like, how it is. It's a circuit, it's a
This
small
is what you're talking
circuit.
about back in Yemen.
Yeah, back home in
okay.
Yemen.
Yeah.
It's a small circuit. I think it's the same length also, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
About 5K.
And it is a hell similar to Prospect.
Okay.
So it makes me feel like I'm a kid back home,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So much fun. And
It's a good mental place for that.
And then I went there and I saw a lot of people who really committed to the sport. Most major tailor.
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
And I went in with them. Can I join? They're like, yeah, for sure, come. I rode with them for like a while, and talking. They give me some heads ups, about like, about pedaling technique, cadence. I ask.
Yeah.
I see someone who's good at something. I ask them how you do this, just to give me some pointers.
Great.
No problem. And they were, very nice. They were very nice guys. They weren't like, we are this high, mighty, great, good cyclist that you just like this random dude that just came in and he just asked basic stuff. They just like they just answer questions. They open up my eyes. Like if I am in that same position and somebody asks, I will always answer. I will give heads ups. I will give pointers. So I'm doing it. I'm just riding around the laps. I'm there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like,
Oh, you started early.
yeah, I started early, and I'm like, and it's 9:09,
Yeah.
and I'm almost at 60, no 59.
Yeah.
I think 59,
Yeah.
59 mile mark, which is like one more lap.
Yeah. So you're doing 15
I need,
it's
yeah,
miles
like,
an hour.
yeah,
exactly,
one more lap.
Yeah.
Maybe one more lap and a half to make it. And I'm like, at that time I was just like, I was at my limit.
Yeah.
Because I never done anything like
Did you
that.
stop for in between? Not much.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that time I was.
Oh yeah. Get some water maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but also listen, I was a smoker.
Yeah.
Which is bad thing. Never pick up smoking. Smoking is bad. Take it from me, by the way. I quit already.
Yeah.
Thank God I quit beginning of this year.
Okay, great.
I just took this like choice. I'm like quit cook turkey.
Yeah.
That's it. I hate smoking now. I hate people even. I mean,
Right.
I don't hate people who smoke, but I just hate
Yeah,
smoking.
no, I know
so-
what you mean.
So I was like, relax, the cigarette break, which just doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, bro. And at the end of it, I see this group. I think it was like a group of 8.
Yeah.
They are kitted in the same kit, black and red,
Yeah.
and they were going, and I tried to stay on their wheel.
Yeah. You're like, I need
That's
one more lap.
yeah, that's something like I learned recently, like drafting.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, drafting is so nice.
Yeah.
So, and especially when you are like a group of like 10,
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, that's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, because when I was so exhausted, and as soon as I jumped into like to their wheel, sorry,
Yeah, okay.
I jumped into their wheel, like I felt this kind of, I can go fast,
Yeah.
but I can, I don't have to spend this much energy or this much effort. It was so nice, and I asked them, "Can I join?" They're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I mean, can I join? You know, like keep riding with you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
because I don't like to have been on a group. Let's say you you with your cycling team, you have a specific workout that day, and you don't want nobody to jump in because you have a specific thing to do,
Right.
and you gotta respect that.
Right.
But this one kind of like I asked, can I hop in? Like, yeah, just go to just relax in the back.
Yeah.
Went in, rode in the group. I mean, it was kind of nervous.
Yeah,
I was
of course.
literally, I was like, man, I was just like looking down, looking front, looking down. I don't want touch
Yeah, of
me
course.
or like hit anybody. But then they at that time they're like they doing hand signal and stuff. I learned about them.
Yeah.
And I finished up the ride with them.
Great.
I passed the Grand Fondo, specific amount.
Yeah,
and, like the mileage needed.
Yeah.
And I mean, I felt fresh. I'm
Right.
not gonna lie. After just, almost being blown out.
Yeah.
I felt nice and fresh. We talked,
Yeah.
and they told me about themselves. They told me, we are Redbeard's fitting club. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bike shop in Jordan.
Yeah.
They mostly do
Redbeard,
fitting.
yeah.
They do this custom builds, and they do group rides. I was like,
In Brooklyn, right?
yes,
Yeah.
they are a Brooklyn-based shop, and they have this program. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a two days program where they do a Saturday ride from the shop, which is close to Prospect Park,
Okay.
to Boxer Donuts.
Yeah, yeah. Which is
that's on
popular
Saturdays?
destination in Nyack.
That place is awesome.
From there, it's probably 60, 70 mile ride.
Yeah, that's
it's
correct.
all right,
Yes,
yeah.
correct. And they also do, and on Sundays they do this group ride. They do two levels. They do entry level,
Yeah.
which is very nice. If you are into cycling, you're just new into cycling,
Yeah.
and you want to learn how to ride in a group. You want to learn how to ride fast. You want to learn how to do signaling. You want to do how to just to lose that, because with riding it comes this kind of like being nervous feeling, and if you want it to be gone,
Especially in the beginning, right?
yes,
Yeah,
at the beginning, I recommend them. Check them out on Strava, check them
Yeah.
out on Facebook.
I'll link.
Sign
link,
up, sign up, and you want just to take that next step from being like this entry level
Yeah,
to
riding on
like
your own.
riding on
fitness,
your own for
yeah.
like fitness, and you love the sport, and you want to be like you see these dudes who like on tire, like with their cycling attire, and they go fast. You want to be like them.
Okay.
Red Bean is your
That's a good
destination.
group
That's
to
one
start.
of yes,
Okay.
and that's then I start going with them every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that feeling and we rode together. We did the US, the New York Marathon.
March, whatever. Yeah.
We didn't do the march. We did
Oh.
they let you ride it.
Yeah.
We did it
A lot of
together.
New York cyclists do that before
Yeah.
the marathon starts,
Yes,
right? Everybody
we-
rides because the route is already blocked off,
Yep,
and the
mhm.
pulley, everything's closed already, so
Yep.
you can ride the whole 26. Oh, how much you want to ride of it?
We
You can
did
ride
the-
free roads, and you can ride some roads that you can't usually ride comfortably. You know,
Yeah,
like go on all the way on 4th Avenue in Brooklyn. You
Mhm.
know, which there's a bike lane there, but that bike lane is full of traps, full
huh?
of potholes, and you can ride I haven't done it, but I've heard a lot of people do it.
Yeah, I always
Before the
admit it.
marathon.
I mean, look, and about the road condition.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that people ask, or you also like send me that question was like, hard thing like you deal with in New York
Yeah.
City. I mean, forget the drivers,
Yeah.
forget the pedestrians.
Yeah.
I mean, like we also cyclists with angels too.
Yeah.
Just it is part of it is the road condition.
Yeah.
man, how many times I get these pinch flats?
Yeah.
How many times you get like,
'Cause you hit a pothole.
yeah, you
or
hit a
something else.
pothole
Yeah.
and or like you're just riding and then there is this kind of the switch and like I'm like bro, who even make
This bike lane?
Yeah,
yeah,
man, what is this?
Yeah.
like man.
It's like there's the bike that ends over there and then continues over there or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
like, I mean, oh my god, bro! Like, how many times it's just the road itself is
Yeah.
the hardest thing to deal with, especially when you have like these skinny tires, man.
Yeah.
It's so easy for them to just pop.
Yeah.
Let's say you just and then we have into Strava again. Like we have these segments, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I love about Strava is KOMs.
Little challenge.
I
Yeah.
stink, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that fit yet, but I do love
Yeah.
to, challenge myself.
Yeah. 'Cause
Try to
that's
get,
a great thing about
yeah,
Strava,
try to get a KOM.
Yeah.
I got a KOM of a place that I really love.
Yeah.
That straight section under the bridge on the Chelsea bike path
Okay.
after 59th Street.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know that like a straight line, then a sharp right turn, then a straight line.
Okay. Yeah.
It's next to the Trump Towers, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Trump Towers in there.
On the west section?
Yeah.
I only know the one by the park. Okay, maybe there's another one.
Yeah, I think it is. It is like it starts on that segment starts I think on like 60th Street, and then like 60, 65, 60, 62, something like
Okay,
that. So,
yeah.
But I got that here. I love that place. I mean, but then, man, and that was stolen from me by this by this dude. I mean, and then when I was talking with the guy because he dusted my time like by 15 seconds. Like, what the?
Yeah.
What's going on? He's like, there was just a GPS problem, and it just pinged him from a point to a point.
Yeah.
And it counted. So I'm like, I enjoyed, bro. Ain't no problem.
Yeah.
I got no issue with that. So I mean, but my second time, I don't think anybody would beat that. I hope nobody beat that though.
Summer's motivating like that.
Yeah,
right? And I think that for
I mean-
a lot of people, like you said, you can challenge yourself. You don't have to race.
Mm.
New York City, you always have to watch a little bit. Is it a dangerous segment, right? But like, if you hit it at the right time of day, and like I said, if there's not that much traffic,
Oh
you can,
yeah.
you'll probably be fine.
Yes. Here's the thing. Since I'm not really, when I took cycling, I was kind of, I was 24, 25.
Mhm.
So it's not like I still have time, for me to take the, race.
Mhm.
But I don't think I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I keep that like open.
Uh-huh.
If that happens,
I think that's
happens.
a good approach.
But for
yeah.
now, there is this other thing that segments. Not even getting QM. Not getting QM, just getting a personal best.
Yeah.
That's one of what's the best thing ever is getting a personal best on a hill.
Yeah.
That's that's special.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because you know that all your effort that you do on a bike, it pays off.
Yeah.
And when things pays off, you always stay motivated.
It's rewarding, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your
and
favorite hill? Here.
Which one?
Here,
I mean,
yeah.
which
You have
one
one?
isn't? The question is
You're
which
like,
one
oh.
isn't? Bro, if there is any like
You
incline,
like Alpine. You like Alpine.
I love them. I love any incline.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I love it all.
Good.
Prospect Park Hill, bro.
Yeah.
It has a special place in my heart because, like I said, and in Prospect, I mean, in the West Side, that's when I went in from like being a novice into like this advanced guy. But then in Prospect, that's when I really took the like. It made me like. I can't say. I'm not gonna say that I'm a cat. I'm not a cat five. I don't
Tom,
mind.
good seeing
Are
you.
you?
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
the guy that says I'm my
Thank
guest
you,
today,
thank you.
yeah.
It's my first love. That's what I call it.
Where'd you get that shirt?
Which one? This one?
Yeah, East Village.
Walk into my shop on 7th and 8th,
The New Delhi, he
and
works
I
there.
get you one.
Yeah.
No, really, this is my business shop, and it's 7th and 8th. We walk in, I get you one.
So, say it again, 7th Street and
And Avenue 8. It's next to Ray Candy
East
Store.
Village Deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deli next to it. Pass by there. I'm
Oh,
there.
really? That's you?
Yeah, that's us.
So believe it or not, I used to own that building.
Oh,
It's 115.
yes.
Yes, I lived there for 15 years.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
East
Yes, so I
Village
should
is small
definitely come
world.
see you.
Oh yeah, come in. I mean,
I saw that.
This is Tom Amran.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
This is my guest today.
So
So.
you're a cyclist too, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking. He's,
Yeah, I could tell you stories about that place.
Oh, I mean, I think there's a lot. And my uncle also was, you know, I think 119, the building 119.
Uh-huh.
There is that store there. My uncle was the owner of that store.
So that was like a,
90, in the like 95.
it was like a deli.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
So when I bought my place, I can't remember what year that was. The day I bought it, there was a big riot in Times Square Park. And
I
those
remember
people,
that.
those people broke into your uncle's store. They pulled down the gate,
Wow.
and they built a big bonfire in the middle of the street, and they were taking stuff out of the store and throwing it in the bonfire.
Wow.
I don't know if your uncle had the store then. That was probably